Hello, I'd like to show you Country Cozy Cottage Christmas Handmade Junk Journal number 2. This is the sister to the previous post, and it comes with its own little cotton storage bag that I made using some Christmas fabric and some crinkled seam binding that I hand washed and crinkled, and it has some little bells on it too. Yeah, these were fun to make. This one's very similar to the previous one, but as you can see already, this little stocking is different. But there's tea, herbal tea inside, and a new pen, and a different set of dangles. With this one, I also did some patchwork on an envelope, glued it and then sewed it. Put on some, I think this might be vintage here, and these buttons definitely are, and that's like the ones I put on the other one. And these little yo-yos, I hand stitched those. And this is a little vintage doily. I guess it's almost like a wine glass doily. And these here were made from, this was made from a greeting card. And this embossed paper here I did by hand. And this is from a set that was free from Scrapbooking with Me. I think I printed it out last year and tea-dyed it. Here's a vintage closer button here. There's one signature. I'm just going to measure how tall she is. She's 9 1/4 inches tall and 6 inches wide. The same size as the other one was. And on the back, you can see more of the fabric. There's a little button here holding the closure string on the back, and then it just wraps around the front. Oh, and there's some little decorative bells on the signature strings. This just wraps around like that, so there's room to grow, but she's pretty stuffed already. There's a pocket here made from some digital, I believe I got this in the graphics fair. I printed this out last year on really nice quality paper, so I saved it, created a pocket out of it, and tea-dyed it as well. And inside the pocket is a journal card made from a Christmas card. And here's a little bookmark. And journal tag with some fabric and a vintage button on. And this is made from scrapbook paper. And this is vintage trim here. I just love this stuff. And that was something I had thrifted probably last year. And this is feels like flannel, and it's lining the inside of the cover. The cover has a piece of cardstock, tea-dye cardstock, all the way through as well. So there's 3 layers. There's this, the envelope, and the fabric. This little pocket here, I made one of my little flowers from scraps of things, and here's one of those faux stamps. So cute. So the difference between this journal and the other journal, I'd say the other one was more kind of Victorian cottage, whereas this is cute. This one's the cuter. For people who like me that really like cute things like my cats. There's a faux stamp there, and I layered it with some mesh from a garlic bag and some cardstock and some scrapbook paper. And inside I've got a sweet little picture of some children and their dog. That's from a magazine. It's advertising, I think, for those pictures. I think it might have been from a Victoria magazine. And there's a little cluster I made here and put on there with a little star button. And this paper here was from a scan that I did of a vintage small tablecloth that I have made out of, you can see it's very rough looking. I think it's called bark cloth. Anyways, I really like it. And on this side, we've got a little journaling tag there, perfect for counting down to Christmas. And here, there's some vintage rickrack and a little bow that I made out of seam binding and a cute little flower button and a little Christmas seal, the cat sitting in front of the fireplace with some vintage lace on it and a little pocket here. And on this side, we've got some Christmas stationery and a hidden paper clip that's got a Christmas seal on there and a little star I put on there and some fabric, scrapbook paper. It's a star sequin actually. And on this side as well, there's a Christmas seal and fabric. And this little card here is made from a mouth painted calendar. That's from December last year. I tea-dyed it. And here's some scrapbook paper with a sticker on, make it more Christmassy, and some cardstock on top there from a greeting card, and journaling space on the back, an embossed circle that I've folded over the bottom of the page to create a tuck on the other side too. And this is coffee stenciling I did with some lovely stencils that my daughter had given me. It was an early Christmas present last year, I think. And some stamping here with a little bit of a chalk pastel to blend in with this color here. This was just the color that this stenographer's paper was already. And then I did some stamping to carry on this snowflake theme. And this is from, oh, I love the colors in this. This is from a children's book that was discarded, a Christmas one. And so I've used it in the other journal and a couple of other ones too, I think. And on this side, we've got hidden journaling spots. You can journal on the back of the little gingerbread, and on here, of course, there's some stamping. And this is vintage, kind of like rickrack, but I haven't seen it before. That's perfect for Christmassy stuff. And there's a faux Christmas stamp. And here we've got another little spot to journal, and you can journal here. And then there's a card that comes out, some stamping on it, some fabric, and you can journal on that. And then here we've got journaling space on the back of this one, so that goes under the whole works, whereas this just tucks into there. There's room if you wanted to just set something in here, a little hiding spot. It's a little Christmas tree and star brad. Those were things I thrifted too, so I'm glad that I kept them. I'm not super crazy about Christmas, but since junk journaling, I have actually become more interested, because making Christmas journals is fun and it gets you in the mood for Christmas. That was, I don't think it's vintage, but it's from a kind of a doily, and there's a star, snowflake brad. I made a little booklet out of this tally card. It's December 25th on there. Put some tea-dye paper, and this little sweetie, this is from that same magazine that I got that other picture from. And this is from a vintage Christmas book. I was using up every little bit of it. A little bit of cotton there, almost looks like snowballs. And on this side too, we've got a picture from that magazine. And a journal card with some glitter on it, and a tea bag bit on there as well for journaling, and a Christmas vintage music book page. I think it's called Christ is Born, the Child Divine. And on this one it says, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Everyone I think knows that one. Here we've got, pardon that tail, that's Deja. Here, Deja, do you need some room to get over there? She's just snooping around. This here is, I believe it's Christmas stationery too, so I put that there. And there's a lovely page under here with a poem by Longfellow from this book that I love, of different things. And a fabric tab here. And on this side, I've made an altar paper clip out of that paper clip and stamped 2 different stamps, and then I did a little bit of chalk pastel to make the color go with this blue and the blue over here. And this is like I did in the other journal. It's a invitation card that I turned into a journal card and stamped on the front after sending off the words. And here, handmade paper that has a full stamp on it, and doily that I hand dyed. It's got a blue tinge to it, so it must be from, not sure if that's from flower petals or blueberry. I really should label all my stuff. I've started labeling things, but I haven't labeled all the things from before because I don't remember. This is a faux stamp from the back of a greeting card, and a little bit of washi tape there that I thought went with the sparkly theme that, where have I got sparkly theme? Oh yeah, here. And also I inked it up to make it look older. And on this side, it's an envelope flip, and there is a tuck here, the journal card I made with a sticker and some, I think this is tea bag. How can I forget so quickly? Probably because I'm already started on 2 new journals, so I forget. And this was an envelope that I added some paper on top of. This is some embossed, hand embossed paper I added on top. I put these little bits of cardstock and cardboard on there for interest and to go with the natural colors in here. This is a journal card made from a Christmas card, and I have this also in the other journal too that was sold recently. I love the blues in there too. And on this side, it flips and there's a tuck spot here in writing space. And this is a stamped Rolodex card with a little bit of chalk pastel on there. Done inking pretty much throughout the book too. Writing paper here. And this is supposed to be waterproof. This is from a greeting card. I made a full stamp out of the little picture that was on the back of it. So you'll recognize it there. This is some, I think this is vintage fabric. And that's just to strengthen this pocket here and then create a stronger pocket here as well. And most of my tags and cards are blank on the back for journaling. So I'm really into journaling. And I was so excited. My grandson was over for a stay over on the weekend, part of the weekend, and he got up earlier than he usually does and saw me journaling in the den, and managed to send him back to bed for a few more minutes because it was 6 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't think he needed to be up yet. Anyways, he came back out a little while later and he started sitting there journaling on a piece of paper, and I thought, wow, you know, the best way to learn is to see somebody do something and see how important it is to them and that they enjoy it, and that's more likely to inspire you than to say, hey, why don't you journal? Tea-dye paper in here, and this was made from some tea-dye paper, and I think this was made from an envelope I'd taken apart. I stamped on it so you can write here and on here, and then that tucks in here. And this was some scrapbook paper I thought was just beautiful, but I wanted to be able to create writing space, so I put this on, glued this on here and stamped on there. I thought that was nice. North Pole, Canada. Oh, oh, ho, ho. Cute postal code. This is from a calendar. I don't think it's vintage. I think I just had this from a couple of years ago. I think it might be from the place where I bought our cat's scratch pole. And then in this side, I've got similar as like what I had in the other pocket, except it's a Christmas tree. Same dyed paper inside, a little bit of stamping on it, and you can write on both sides. And on this, I like this green. I thought it went perfect with this Graphics Fairy Digital, this green, and then did some stamping on it and glued this here to create some writing space on there as well. That was made with used a circle punch on the back of a greeting card that had this picture, and then used a different punch to create the little one there, and another piece that was already cut out that came with some stuff that I had thrifted. Created a little mini journal tag there. Love this picture. Love birds. And I got this old stamp thing that I can change the date on it. So I thought that was fun. I actually just got it just for using for Christmas journals. And this looks vintage. I'm not sure if it is, but it's a Canadian postcard. It's made in Canada. Lovely. Old town. Lots of writing space in here. This has been tea dyed. And on this side we've got some stationery, and I believe this is vintage, 1992 I think. And then this little mouse I thought went nice, the colors with this page over here. This is scrapbook paper, and I had fun putting this on there to catch the colors from over here. And there's writing space on the back, and this is a fabric pocket with the vintage button on there that matches, and some stamping and some sewing and some, I believe that's tea bag. Lots of writing space here. This is a fabric tab there, and this is from that book that I mentioned I really like. There's a couple of birds there. This is made from a greeting card, and this is part of that same hymn, vintage hymn page. Did a little cluster with just cut a circle from greeting card and put some inked up doily. Oh yeah, it's also been tea dyed, that doily, and let it overflow a little bit to this side to accent the birds there. And here's a greeting card that I've altered into a journal tag. So what I did is I roughed up the edges a bit with some sandpaper so that it would take up some ink, and plus it just makes it look older. And I rounded the corners on it too. And this page here, we've got extra journaling space here and here and here. This would be a nice place to put a small picture. And I use vintage, pardon me, I have to cough a little bit, some vintage bias tape on there. And then this flips down, and there's a tuck spot here with a little card of that, made out of that scrapbook paper I really like. I just had one piece, and I got that from the hospital thrift store. And this goes down, and then you can see there's another little journal card in here, writing space here, and a little journal card there made from a faux stamp, which I made using one of those pictures from the magazine. And here's a little booklet, teddy bear Christmas on the front there, and journaling space here and here, and of course on these tea dye pages, and on this as well. A little button. This is a very old button there. A little tag here, just made from stamping, 2 different types of stamps, and some vintage lace that match the angel, the cherub. And again, some, I think that was, oh, this paper and this paper and this were all from envelopes. On this side, we've got some more of that lovely book page and an altered greeting card that's been, this one's not tea dye, but it's coffee dyed. Little Christmas sticker there, you can put the date there, and a altered Christmas card. Love these little angels, and a little Santa Claus Christmas seal on the hidden paper clip, and there's some tea-dyed cotton there as well, and some tea-dyed scrapbook paper, and a little star sequin. Made a journal card out of some tea-dyed doily, tea-dyed full stamp. Sewed this on, and then after I sewed it on, I glued on this lined paper that's been tea-dyed for journaling. And altered Christmas card made into a journal card there. And then in this little pocket here, got the teddy bears again. And that's perfect for writing. This was, I think, a gift tag. A little bit of paper ruffle there and a little cluster there. And here's that fabric that I had scanned. Vintage bark cloth, Christmas bark cloth. And on this side I put a little corner made from a magazine picture layered with some, I guess that's baking paper and some cardboard. Sewed that on there and then made a pocket or a tuck spot. And this is a vintage greeting card. Made in Canada. There's a button that helps hold this button in place, which holds these in place so that it can be closed up nice and tight, or there's room to grow. Thanks for watching. I don't know if you've made Christmas journals before or had one, but it definitely gets you in the mood for Christmas, even though it's only November. But yeah, it goes by fast, doesn't it? Take care. And yeah, if there's something that you like to do that you know is good for your mental health, make sure that little people notice you doing it so that they might be inspired to do that as well. Bye.